One natural disaster could change your life forever. What can you do? Turn to AARP. We help older adults and their families prepare, respond, and recover with evacuation checklists to help you remember prescriptions and other essentials, information to help you avoid scammers, connections to on-the-ground emergency responders, and lots of other tips and tools. At AARP, we're here to help. Find us at aarp.org/local.
Time, weather, and
Highways. How you doing, everybody? I'm Chief Meteorologist Denis Phillips. Heat's still the hot topic of weather conversation, right? Just smashed the previous record for rainfall in Tampa. Still a very nice day. We've got some clouds out there, even a couple of sprinkles as another front rolls through the area. Most of us wake up to sunshine and then very warm temperatures in the afternoon. For temperatures, they're going up and they're staying up. Really nice forecast, especially if you're planning on going to the beach or the pool. Rain chances very slim. It's another beautiful day in store. It's going to bring us a very high chance of storms. Isolated showers across the area. Mother Nature likes to remind us that it isn't set by a calendar. We're always on it for you, just in case things begin to pop.
Streaming from the ABC Action Weather Center in Studio A, this is Denis Phillips Live, sponsored by AARP Tampa Bay.
How you doing, everybody? ABC Action News Chief Meteorologist Denis Phillips. I don't know why I have the traffic cam on behind me, but by the way, thank you, Angie, very much. Very kind. All donations go toward Children's Miracle Network. Mary, same to you. Thank you very much. We just posted, you know what, I will show them to you since we were talking about Children's Miracle Network, and we're now getting in toward the holiday season where a lot of folks are going to be thinking what would be a really good idea for a Christmas present. Well, how about a rule number 7 pet bandana collar in 19 carts right now, but we have some new stuff. Look at the new Snuggle Alert mugs. Again, all proceeds go toward Children's Miracle Network and other local charities as well. We've been trying to broaden it out a little bit as we get into November and December, but we have all of our Rule 7 stuff. We've got our new Snuggle Alert mugs. These were just uploaded today. We literally just made them today. So we are trying to expand our reach a little bit. We got a blue one for the guys and a pink one for the girls. We've got phone cases. We've got a Christmas ornament. This one looks like it has FSU colors. I think it does. But again, this is on our Etsy page. So if you go check out our Etsy page, and as well as our Teespring page where we have all of the stuff on there. Great Christmas present. And again, each and every purchase, a donation is made toward the Children's Miracle Network. So I want to talk a little bit about what's going on. We're still in a drought. We still have some tropical stuff, believe it or not, to talk about. Want to start with, just got back from New Orleans for my son's wedding. Want to thank everybody for all the kind wishes. So it's a funny story. So I was going to show some pictures, but I don't know, I mean, it looks like a lot of the people here are probably our core people. Bridget, thank you very much, as very, very kind. Yeah, so actually Barbara just asked about the wedding pictures. So Sean, how you doing, my man? Yes, the 540 line is inching away. Unfortunately, yes, it is getting farther and farther away. I think after Sunday morning, we're going to be back in the mid to upper 80s right through Halloween. But we called this months ago. It always happens this way. We always have a brief cool down in mid-October, kind of a tease. Oh, look, fall's here. We're going to have great weather. It'll last for about 2 or 3 days. And then all of a sudden, the heat returns. Hurricane season is not over. Yeah, Denise, there is no Wi-Fi in New Orleans, I swear. I was trying to do a live hit from the second line, And then I was trying to do a live hit from Bourbon Street, which I did briefly, but the Wi-Fi is horrific in the French Quarter. Terrible. So I just could not get enough signal to do it. Now, yes, technically, the season does run until the end of November, but I'll tell you, I do want to show this, and I'm going to show you some wedding pictures, just because this is a lot of folks here. We'll go briefly over the hurricane stuff, but you know, a lot of folks here have been part of our chat group forever and ever, and it's always, you know, rewarding to share personal stuff. You guys know me, I'm very transparent. I'm kind of an open book when it comes to my personal life. And we were sharing a lot of our wedding, and I'll show some pictures as well. But anyway, this is a look at the Global Prediction Center's 2-week outlook. This is for next week through Halloween. And again, it continues to show, you know, an area in the Northern Caribbean, the Western Caribbean, the Southwestern Gulf, and the Pacific. Now, when you see this, all right, usually this means, well, and I'll zoom in for you here because it kind of makes it easier to understand. So the dark red color is the highest probability of any kind of potential development, right? Well, you notice a majority of that is in the Pacific. It does extend into the Western Caribbean because anywhere in this dark red color, there could be some development. And then it extends out a little bit into the Bahamas as well and into the Pacific. But the highest probability is probably in the Eastern Pacific. A little bit lower, but still, this is a 20 to 40% probability. This is through Halloween. The following week, it's identical, right? It is, wait. Identical, to quote my cousin Vinny. Shelley has been here from the beginning. So anyway, look at this. So this is Halloween week, and this is the following week. It is identical. So what this is saying is climatologically, there's going to be an area of lower pressure in that general part of Central America. And it's always possible that something could develop in that. If it develops in the Eastern Pacific, it could go north into the Gulf, or it could go west into the Pacific. If it develops in the Western Caribbean, it could go north into the Gulf. So you say, okay, Dennis, if climatologically that's expected, what are the models showing? All right, I will show you. The models are showing none of it. Zip. All right, but we will look at it anyway. Francis, how you doing? So here's a look at, by the way, Sean, there's your 540 line up there in Canada. Sean is a fan of the 540 line. He likes the colder air. The 540 line is the freezing line. And it has retreated back into Canada. All right, but let's look at the GFS. Tomorrow, Saturday, brief weak front moves through. Sunday, where's your 540 line? Still in Canada. Monday, Great Lakes. Tuesday, back in Canada. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you have no 540 line east of the Mississippi. You do, however, have one out in the Rockies, which could eventually end up pushing a front in the east side of the U.S. But for the time being, it is showing a lot of nothing. All right? Now look at the euro. Same thing. Euro really doesn't do much. Brings a pretty strong front, and then it starts to weaken as it gets closer to the east coast of the U.S. And then what happens? Oh, this is classic. This is the GF. This is the euro, but boy, it is classic. So watch what happens to this front. It starts to elongate east to west. See that? See how it starts to flatten out east to west? That's because the push behind it doesn't get particularly strong. Now, this is 12 days out, and this is nonsense, but it is a good lesson. It is a good lesson. So what happens is you can see the boundary start to go east-west, and look what happens along the boundary. Look off the coast of Florida. low pressure starts to develop along the stalled out front, like clockwork. So when you see something like this happen, regardless of the date, because there's nothing going on the next 10 days, that is always something that we talk about, and we've talked about that on this chat forever and ever and ever. In October and November, frontal boundaries stall out in the Gulf, in the Caribbean, and when they do, as is the case here, you can see low pressure develop along that front. All right? But if you look at the tropics, for the next 10 days, they are completely quiet in the Gulf and in the Caribbean. Not in the Pacific, but in the Gulf and the Caribbean. So there you have it. It is going to be a rather boring... Oh, my son Shay is calling. Stand by. Let me make sure this is not something important. Hello, Shay. I am live on DPL right now. How are you?
I'm great. How's America?
They can't hear you. I could if I were... Shay just goes, how's America? America's fine. I could hold the microphone up so that everyone could hear you, but is everything okay? I just want to make sure that everything's all right.
Everything's great. Thank you, Dad. I love my loving father so much. I'll let you go.
All right, here, say goodbye to everybody. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to hold you up to the microphone. Okay, go ahead, Shay.
Bye, DPL. Everyone have a great night.
Okay, so that was my son Shay. Now my oldest son, who is not married, because my oldest son is married now, so Shay is next. Maybe not next in line. I don't know. Are you next in line, Shay?
That's tough.
That's a tough question. All right, buddy. I'll call you later. I love you. All right, bye. How's that for putting him on the spot? All right. So anyway, I got a funny story about Shay. Got a funny story. Okay. So I'm in New Orleans, right, for the wedding, and we're at a bar on Bourbon Street the night before the wedding. And everybody's walking around. I'm not really much of a drinker. You guys know this. That's not I have many vices in the world, but drinking is really not one of them. So I'm just kind of hanging around. Everybody else is enjoying themselves. And I'm just kind of, hey, listening to the music, whatever. And we're standing there, and there's a group of people right above us. I'm on the ground floor, and they're like 3 steps up on the next level, right? And a nice couple, in their 40s, I guess. And they look down and they go, hey, are you Denis? And you get that, even in New Orleans, because we've been doing this for a long time. And there's a lot of people in the Gulf Coast that watch us and follow us on Facebook. So I said, yeah, how you doing? They go, oh, we're from Riverview. And I said, oh, great, nice to meet you guys. And they said, do you have a son named Shay? And I go, no, that's a new one. Well, I mean, again, I'm very open, transparent with my family, obviously, as I just did. But I don't normally get that one. And I'm like, yeah, I do. How do you know? And so the dad goes, well, my daughter and I were at a fraternity party at the University of Florida, and we were just dominating the beer pong table for like 2 hours. Nobody could touch us. And apparently your son, Shay, came over and just wiped the floor with us. So I said, oh, it makes me so proud to know that my son was at the university, and he's graduated now, was at the University of Florida and was so proficient in beer pong that you would remember years after the fact, because this had to be like 4 or 5 years ago, that you did so well. So anyway, and I took his picture, and I actually sent it to Shay. I'm like, do you remember this guy and his daughter? And he, no, Dad, I don't remember. Shocker. So anyway, so that was, the wedding was awesome. I'll show you some pictures in a couple minutes. But again, in terms of our weather, this front is going to come through tomorrow, late, and it will be pretty much a dry front, and unfortunately not helping the drought situation whatsoever. Still in an extreme drought, the dark red color. Orange is severe drought. And there's the radar. There's just really very little going on right now. Temperatures at this hour, mostly in the 70s. So how many folks really liked that cold air the last couple of days? I mean, I see a lot of folks loving it, but some folks saying, Dennis, I live in Florida for a reason. I like the warm weather. Well, today the warm weather returned. And yeah, middle 80s for highs. So the snuggle alerts that we had, where temperatures did drop into the lower 40s, and again, With temperatures dropping into the low 40s and a snuggle alert issued, as always, you can get your snuggle alert mugs on the Etsy page where proceeds benefit the Children's Miracle Network. I just threw that in. Those are new today. I'm kind of proud of them. We literally just debuted all the new snuggle alert stuff today. And of course, on Valentine's Day, I'm sure it'll do really well as well. But there they are. Oh, look, everybody, most of the folks really liked it. There were a couple who were complaining, Dennis, I live in Florida, I like it warm. Well, this morning, about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than it was yesterday morning. So certainly quite a warm up. Outside right now, mostly cloudy, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy. Temperatures in the middle 70s. Satellite picture, we did see some clouds out there today in the afternoon and evening. And overnight, those clouds will give way to clearing skies, and I think you'll wake up to sunny skies on Friday. The front comes in, or what's left of it, Friday afternoon, Friday night. I think tomorrow will be a very nice day, mid-80s, humidity creeping up a little bit. And I hate to tell you, but yeah, I don't see any more cool air outside of Sunday morning right through the first week in November. I know, don't shoot the messenger. Saturday morning, we're partly cloudy, upper 60s for lows. Highs in the mid-80s. I do think on Sunday morning we'd cool off a little bit, partly cloudy skies on Sunday. Here's a look at those temperatures. Tomorrow morning, we start upper 50s to low 60s. Afternoons, we end in the middle 80s. Saturday morning, we start upper 60s to lower 70s. Saturday afternoon, we're mid to upper 80s. And Sunday morning, back in the 50s to lower 60s. So Sunday morning is going to be, I'll show you a picture, Michaela, because there's the bridal party group in front of the 12-foot skeleton. So they did like it. So yeah, so Sunday morning a little cool, but then we warm back up quickly into the middle 80s, and there it is. That takes us up to Halloween. And this takes us into the first week in November. Now, you guys know, on the 31st, we will have all our Halloween decorations up, everything's running, and we've got our two 12-foot skeletons. We have the Inferno, the one that's lit up, the fire one, and the regular 12-foot, all the other stuff mixed with the music and the lights with the music, just like I do at Christmas. But you guys know on November 1st it's coming down, and I'm gonna start putting up Christmas stuff. Because that is you want to talk about a vice, that is my vice. Christmas decorations are my vice. We start decorating the inside on November 1. I get 2 full months of just awesomeness with all the Christmas decorations everywhere. So, a lot of ones, the beer pong pictures. You know, Shay probably has some, but I have no access to those, so I can't help you. All right, rainfall, it ain't gonna rain. It's never gonna rain again. No. Now, it will. El Nino, historically El Nino years, ironically enough, if you think about it, the rainy season is usually when we get most of our rain. We didn't this year. The dry season is typically winter, but in an El Nino, the stormy pattern usually enhances our rain chances. So December to March, hopefully we're gonna see some better rain chances, and I think there's a pretty good chance that we will. Now, right now, we have Tropical Storm Tammy out there, and there are some folks who are wondering for cruise ships and vacations to the islands if it's going to be an issue. Winds of 60 miles an hour. It will pass to the Leeward Islands, and when it does, it will then start to curve, staying away from Puerto Rico, but there will be some squally weather in Puerto Rico, but certainly nothing horrible. And no, Mike. I know how to do that. Mike. Now, Mike was trying to school me on how to do the identical. Trust me, I know how to do it. Identical. I mean, come on. I've seen that movie 11 billion times. It is one of my favorite, along with The Waterboy. Matter of fact, my son and I were debating movies because my older son, who just got married, he's a doctor, but he also graduated, he got his master's in film. Right? Interesting combination. And we were debating the merits between The Waterboy and the new Martin Scorsese film. The new Martin Scorsese film runs 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. And I told him, and I do not regret this comment, that I would much rather see The Waterboy than a 3.5 hour, because Martin came out last week saying, we need cinema. That was the word that we used. We need cinema. And I argue that The Waterboy is cinema, just on a different level. It's not, what is it, Flowers of, what's it called? I can't remember. Anita in Newport Richie, how you doing? But yes, 11, Joe, 11 billion. So anyway, that's a movie I probably will not be seeing. Although I say that, I will be seeing a 3.5 hour film with my daughter, because Ryan chose to, my 9-year-old chose to have her birthday party with 12 other fans to see the Taylor Swift film, which I believe runs about 3.5 hours. So now I'm unfortunately found out that these tickets are non-refundable. So next weekend is her birthday party. We're going tomorrow, by the way. We're going to see it twice. Don't ask me. But I bought 8 tickets to the showing on next Saturday, and then the party got moved to Sunday. So now I have these, and they're $25 a pop in the Dolby Theater. Because if you're going to see Taylor Swift film, you might as well see it in Dolby, right? With all the great sound, right? So they're $25 a pop, and I bought 8 tickets, and I was just going to exchange them because I'm a Movie Pass member, and I figured, you could exchange them. No, non-refundable. So I'm trying to sell these 8 tickets to next Saturday's noon showing in Dolby of the Taylor Swift film. So if you would like to go, message me and we can work out a deal. Because I don't want to waste them. It's $200 worth of movie tickets that I'll just be throwing away. But on the other side of the coin, I don't want to eat it either. It's kind of. But anyway, the daughter and all her friends are going on the following day, on Sunday instead of Saturday. So, all right. Anyway, there's a look at Tammy. It's going to go in the Atlantic, away from the islands. The surf won't be that bad. It will be a little squally in Puerto Rico, not so much in the Dominican. I wouldn't worry too much about it. And then it's going to curve away. So there's your forecast tonight. Partly cloudy skies, warm. Temperatures come wake-up time in the middle 60s. Still some upper 50s in our northern counties. For the boaters tomorrow, look for winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10 knots. Good cinema like Tommy Boy. There you go, Mike. There you go. I know, Ryan's 9, Denise. Craziness. Northwest winds 5 to 10 knots. The water temperature has now really come down to 74 degrees. Your sunrise tomorrow morning, 7:33. Sunset at 6:56. The beach looks awesome tomorrow. Sunny skies all day. Highs in the mid to upper 70s. And there's the 7-day. Pretty easy to put this one together. Sunny skies pretty much the entire time, with highs in the mid-80s. Is it Danielle had an interesting spelling of it. I'm trying to figure it out. Is it Danielle in an odd spelling? Works as a talent relations coordinator for HSN. Wants to wear her sweater again. Alas, Danny, it's not going to be anytime soon. It's just not. It's unfortunately, it's going to be this way for a long time. So hold on, I'm trying to call up a couple of pictures now because I gave you the tropics. Real quick again, if you look here, I'll show you this. If you do look at our rainfall potential for the next 7 days, zip. I mean, look at that. Nothing in our area. So we will look, because pressures could be lowering a little bit in the Caribbean. So for the next 2 weeks, there's still the possibility of something trying to get going. But if you look at the models, I can call it up again. They're showing nothing. I will call you up the GFS just to show you what the GFS is calling for over the next 2 weeks. And if the GFS isn't spinning something up, you know it's going to be quiet, because the GFS likes to spin up everything. Let's go ahead and look in the Gulf and the Caribbean, because that's an area that would be of more potential, I suppose we would say. I am going to get out at 8 o'clock tonight because the president is speaking, And we are going to be carrying that on streaming. All right, so here we go. This will load up. And when it loads, we can then go ahead and call it up. But it's not calling up. It didn't call it before either. Well, I won't ruin the surprise, but it's showing nothing. It's showing absolutely no development for the time being. All right? So there you go. Warm, humidity returns, cool air is gone for a while. Tropics, we have Tammy that will curve, and at this point, there is nothing else certainly imminent or even possible in additional development. I'm trying to call up some of these pictures. See if it lets me. We have like a Google page kind of a thing, I think. So let's see. Hold on, if I can do this. Yeah, they're there. How do I make them full screen? That is my dilemma. I don't see it. All right, well, I'll show you a few, okay, for those asking. Okay, so there is Ryan on Bourbon Street. There's some of the flowers. I don't know where these are just kind of a bunch of pictures. There's Kendall, my daughter Kendall, Josh, there's Shay. There's Shay who was on the beer pong champion. There he is, along with Kendall. This was at the rehearsal, I think. Okay, there's Kendall and Ryan. Those are my two daughters. Okay, and this was at the venue. There's Robin and Ryan and Kendall. There's the groom's party, the whatever they are, I don't know. They're mostly doctors. There's my son Josh and my son Shay. And there's Brett. And there's just a ton of pictures here. There is the brides and the bridesmaids makeup party, I think, when they were getting ready. This is a friend of my son and my daughter-in-law, which I can say now, Alex, and she was the person who she did the wedding. What is that person name called? The person who reads the stuff? I don't know, but that was what she did. There's Ryan and Kendall again. There's Alex getting ready. There's a bridesmaid. There's more makeup stuff. There's the skeleton. There are the girls and the 12-foot, that's right, the official. Yeah, the officiant. Yeah, good call. Good call. Not the wedding planner, the person who said, I now pronounce you man and wife, or whatever, however that works. Okay, so there is the skeleton. So there it is. And there's lots of pictures of that stuff, and then more makeup pictures, and there's really no rhyme or reason to this. There's Brett and Alex as they were getting ready. They were rehearsing. There's Kendall and I guess another bridesmaid. There's Ryan. There is my mother-in-law and Jake. Jake is kind of shy. Jake is my 5th child, Ryan's older brother. Jake was the ring bearer. There's the garden that it was held in the French Quarter. And there is the venue. There's a good view of the garden where it was. And we sat up in the front, and the fountain was back there. And I think this is afterward. No, this is before still. This is when everybody's getting ready. There's Kendall again. Kendall and Ryan. Josh and Jake. Josh is 6'3" now. Jake is about 6 foot, and Jake is 15. So we've got a rather tall family. There's Ryan, as always, trying to be the person in the center, because that is Ryan. The weather was perfect. It really was. Okay. There's Shay dancing or something. There's all the guys. There's Shay kind of posing. That's the beer pong champion. There is Robin tying Brett's shoe. So how about that one? Even as a 30-year-old doctor, he still needed help tying his shoe. And Robin was happy to oblige. So I don't know who this person is. A lot of these people I don't know, but these are just more pictures. This is the reception. Kendall and Josh. More Kendall. Lots of Kendall. Kendall and Ryan. Lots of Kendall and Ryan. And then there's Alex and Brett, you know, the sign. And there's some more on Alex's side, her mom. And more bridesmaids. You notice I'm not in any of these pictures. I was taking the pictures, and doesn't it always work that way? It just always seems to work that way. You take the pictures. There's the whole bridal party again, I think. There's someone sticking their tongue out. She's also in the bridal party, I think. It's all a blur. There's the official, right? The official, is that what it was? I think. There's Bev, that's Alex's mom. There is Brett walking in. There is Brett again. There is Shay. Kendall. This guy had two girls. He had one on each arm. So I don't know how he rated that way, but he lucked out. Oh, there's Jake and Ryan. Ryan was blowing bubbles. They didn't have flower petals, so she blew bubbles. That was the plan, I think. Everybody's looking. There comes Alex and her dad. Big hug, and there they are. And let me tell you a story about this, all right? So one of the groomsmen who used to be Brett's roommate comes up to me before the wedding and says, the over-under is you're going to be the first person to cry. And I go, I don't think so. I mean, you know, you have your oldest son, and you're so close to your oldest, I think, in many times. But you know, Brett's been gone for so many years. He's a doctor. They got a house together. So, I mean, I didn't think I was going to cry, but I've never gone through it before, right? So I didn't know Shay was swearing. Oh, she goes, Dennis, you'll cry. But you know what happened is, I'm standing there waiting, and I'm looking over at Brett when Alex is walking in with her dad, and Brett was crying. So when Brett started to cry, then I started to cry, because I was looking at him, and he was looking at her as she was walking toward him, and he was crying. And it was the greatest thing. And I actually told that story in the reception when they had the speeches. You know, I'm like, I wasn't the first person to cry. Brett was, because he loves her so much, and I just thought that was really, really touching, really, really sweet. So there they are. And then there's everybody. It was a very, very short ceremony, which was awesome. It's like a 10-minute ceremony. So everybody just kind of stood in the garden area. And there's, you know, I now pronounce you man and wife, husband and wife. And more pictures. They're walking away. They're so happy. More happy. I don't know where these pictures, again, I don't know where these pictures came from. This was the start of the second line. Now, I had a video, and I don't know, it's not uploaded here. I got to find it, because I took a 2-minute video of the second line. But if you're not familiar with the second line, is they have umbrellas, and we walked about 8 blocks with a police escort and a jazz band. That's Brett and Shay, obviously. And then there's Josh. There's his other brother. So it's Brett, Shay, Kendall, Josh, Jake, and Ryan. And then there are all the kids. So I love this picture. That is my favorite picture. Absolutely favorite picture. So, and then there's Alex, and they both have the umbrella as they start walking. And we just had, you know, you had the police escort. And there's my in-laws. And there's Josh and Kendall as we start to walk. Shay and Kendall. I love this picture. There's Kendall and Ryan walking down. And, you know, people are clapping on the side. And, you know, singing along. Look, I love this one. Look, beep, beep. I think Ryan saw Kendall do it, so Ryan did it too. Zoop, zoop. That's my favorite part right there. So then, again, and then there's more wedding pictures. So that's about it. There's the reception area. There's Brett. There's me and Robin. I like that picture. It's from the balcony. There's my next door neighbor holding a beer. Shocker. And this is Sherry. And again, there's just other family members who I don't know. This is on Alex's side. So then they're doing their dance. And they had a food truck, which was really cool. Like a Mexican food truck, which was kind of neat. There's the food truck. I haven't seen most of these pictures yet. This was one of the cakes. I don't remember what this is called. Maybe you guys, one of you guys will know, but it's like, it's attached and you break a piece off. And they had 3 of these, and then they had a regular cake too, but they had these. I don't remember what it's called, but that's what it was. There's Kendall again. There's Kendall dancing. And there's Josh. And then there's Ryan. I don't know if there's any audio on this or not, but. And then there's Josh's girlfriend, Alyssa. What song is this? I can't hear it. Anyway, that's that. And then there's Josh and Ryan dancing. Notice Ryan is in the middle of pretty much most of these. And then there's Kendall and Ryan again. So there you go. You know, and I just wanted to, you guys know me. I mean, I share my family with you guys, and I do it for so many reasons. One, you know, clearly I love my fam, but, you know, oh, I love this. Look at this. This is cool. Look at what they did. They all had sparklers. Everybody, here, I'm going to take this full. See, look, everybody had sparklers. And when they walked under the sparklers. I thought that was kind of neat. See? Thought that was kind of fun. And then there is my neighbor. She wanted to make sure that I had suspenders on, and I did. That's Sherry. And then there's Sherry with Ryan. And then they went to a karaoke party afterwards, a karaoke bar. I didn't go because Ryan isn't old enough to go. But yep, they went to a karaoke bar rather. I've not seen this video. I don't even know if I'm allowed to show this video, truthfully. I haven't heard it, but there it is. So, you know, like I was saying, look, we've had this chat group together for over a decade, and you guys are like my family. I mean, we just are. I mean, I've said it a million times. It's like a bunch of us in the backyard in lawn chairs talking over each other. And I know that there's been a lot of folks that have become good friends within our group, you know, sharing their life with them. And I'm the same way, because I really have, I just feel like I do. I have this bond with a lot of folks on our chat group. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your kind words. I've shared all of them with Brett. Him and Alex always go on and look. I mean, that one picture that I showed, there were 20,000 impressions on it. And, you know, Brett went in and was looking at him and said to say thank you to everybody. So, again, it was a lot of fun. That was my first. I have 5 more kids. So it wasn't as stressful as I thought, although Kendall got her back windshield busted into. Yeah, it's always something, right? They were parked on the street and somebody bashed in the driver's side back window. And you couldn't get it fixed during the weekend because it happened on the weekend. So she's driving back with no back windshield, not the rear, the side windshield. Had to get it fixed. But it was a spectacular time. I think everybody really had a lot of fun. And thank you for all the kind words. I really wanted to share a lot of that with you. So, Anyway, guys, that's about it. Again, cold front comes through later tomorrow. It does not cool us off. Sunday morning, we drop back down into the 50s, but all of next week, we stay in the 80s. And while the tropics, the season runs till the end of November, and again, I'll show this one more time. I mean, I think it's legit. You know, when you have an area of lower pressure, lowish pressure in the Caribbean, you got to keep your eyes on it. And for the next couple of weeks, there is that possibility there could be some development. You would like to think it's probably more the Pacific than the Caribbean. And if you look at where most of these darker colors are, which is the higher probability, it is more Pacific, but it does also show Western Caribbean as well. This is through Halloween. This is the first week in November. So anyway, guys, that's about it. There is a football game on. I believe Trevor Lawrence is starting. He is my starting quarterback in my fantasy team. So if he is not in the starting lineup, I have to quickly make an adjustment to my team. Oh, who won the baseball game? It was ninth inning. It was 1-1. Did the Phillies win or did the Diamondbacks win? Let us see. It was the Diamondbacks won. Look at that. Look at that. So the Diamondbacks won. So they're back in the series, still down 2-1. Trevor Lawrence is active and starting against the Saints. Barkley says he doesn't want Giants to trade him. So Saquon wants to stay on the Giants, and Trevor Lawrence is active for those of you who have him on your fantasy team. So I'm emceeing a function this weekend in Orlando. It's called the Sunshine Foundation. Great organization. It's kind of like the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Quite often grants wishes for people who are terminally ill. The Sunshine Foundation grants wishes for families and children who are chronically ill and will probably be ill for the rest of their lives, but it gives them an opportunity to go and experience some of the things that we might take for granted. And so this weekend is the fundraiser. I've been doing that with Jessica Reyes. She's how would I describe her? She does all the Toyota commercials in Orlando, does radio, used to do weather as well for some stations. So she's a jack of all trades, if you will, and a wonderful woman. And she will be co-emceeing it with me this weekend in Orlando. So again, I might share some of those things as well. And there's also some ways to donate for that as well. Matter of fact, I think our rule number 7 stuff for the following week will also go for the Sunshine Foundation. So thanks again, guys. You have a great night. I appreciate your loyalty. Thank you very much for the kind words about the wedding. We really did have a blast. And Brett and Alex said to say thank you to everyone who gave their kind wishes. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you on Tuesday night's edition of Denis Phillips Live. See you guys.
One natural disaster could change your life forever. What can you do? Turn to AARP. We help older adults and their families prepare, respond, and recover with evacuation checklists to help you remember prescriptions and other essentials, information to help you avoid scammers, connections to on-the-ground emergency responders, and lots of other tips and tools. At AARP, we're here to help. Find us at aarp.org/local.